Hey guys, Jeremiah with Steps Pressure Washing and More. I'm going to be going out today. We're doing two projects. One's a gutter cleaning, then the other one is a house wash. Getting a late start today. I'm definitely out of rhythm from almost 2 weeks off for the Christmas break, and we've got a pretty decent end to our week scheduled. So today we've got just a gutter cleaning and a house wash, but the pressure washing store is closed today, and I didn't realize that until yesterday. And I didn't have time to get down there, so we're doing an old-fashioned siphon out of our 5-gallon bucket so we don't make a mess. But I need more SH. I have plenty to get through what we've got going on today. But I'm really wishing I had a little more. So definitely going down there once they reopen, filling up everything, and getting ready for the month ahead. You know, been doing a lot of planning for 2025. I'll say that I've been doing some reasonable and unreasonable numbers. Reasonable numbers are easy to attain, and I want to do a little bit more unreasonable, push myself a little harder this year, get into some other forms of advertising that I haven't done. Now that we have the 8-gallon per minute and the 4-gallon per minute machine, there's no reason why we can't do more houses in a day. And if business is good, I want to be able to hire somebody. I want to be able to have somebody come along with me, at least during the spring. I don't know the logistics of all that are going to end up being, but for right now, I think that that's a major goal for me, is not doing this by myself forever. And I think this is the year I really want to push to make that happen. We've got the second pressure washer now, so there's no reason other than, of course, financial reasons to not add somebody to the crew. So that's a goal for several months out, and in order to do that, we've got to increase our business so that we can increase the actual legitimacy of that need. You know, and just many other things. You know, we started off this business on a $3,000 budget, and it has taken us a long time to build the trailer that I want. Now that we have that trailer, it really I can shift the focus off of equipment and onto building, onto growing, and growing as a business, not necessarily just growing on equipment. I still have some equipment fund that's building every month, but that's going to be smaller stuff like a FlowPro system or maybe a soft wash system down the road. And of course your little odds and ends stuff that just has to be replaced. So I'm going to see if I can get this transferring a little bit faster so we can leave. I really don't want to have this transferring while I'm cleaning gutters today, but I might just take the last 5-gallon tote and just have it transferring while I'm doing gutters so I can just get out of here. But I'm going to get this thing set up. We'll head out there. Set up here on job number 1. I've got the SH transferring over. This is the house back here. A lot of gutter line. Luckily, nothing is above the first story, so it's all low down, but like every inch of it has gutter. I got some neat little cones off of Amazon. I'm going to put a link for these because I'm already just... I'm going to sit this down. Already thrilled with them. These are like pop-up cones. So they like fold down flat and then they just pop right back up. So I haven't had cones for the truck and trailer, and so I'm trying to add a few more safety add-ons, but again, I love that they fold down flat and they just fit into one of my toolboxes. So that is going to be addition number 1 today for safety stuff. Hopefully we've got some more stuff coming in the next couple days to just make it a little safer. Started today on what the customer has said is the worst side. He usually cleans his gutters, but has decided to give me a shot this year. I clean another property twice a year, which is, there's a pond right back here, and there's a neighbor on the pond just over there. And while I was out doing his gutters, this client came over and said, I think I'm ready to let you do mine. So we are out today getting these knocked out so that he doesn't have to get up on the ladder. Yeehaw. So this one is all done, wrapped up. I'm gonna pack up my cones. They were talking about that they had just gotten a quote for gutter guards. So I went ahead and, that's pretty awesome, I love that. Went ahead and gave them a quote for gutter guard install, and also gave them a quote for just an annual service plan to where I come out twice a year, just like their neighbor, and they opted for the annual service plan just for the peace of mind that it's never going to get too bad. Need to find a spot for these. That'll do for right now. And off to job number 2. Alright, on job number 2 now. Got my cones set out and the tank filling. This is a subdivision that I have been in a few times already this fall, or I guess fall. In the past few months I've been here a few times. One of our clients, actually our first client here, was super satisfied with our work, and she let us know that she's on the board for the HOA. No visible oxidation on this, by the way. It's only a 2-year-old home. She's on the board for the HOA, so she put us out on the HOA Facebook and website. So hopefully we'll be getting some good work out of this. Nice little height on this one, and about a 15-mile-an-hour wind right now. So I'm going to be enjoying having that 8 gallon a minute. Crank this out. I actually gave the client an estimate today of 2 to 3 hours to wash it, and after he went back inside I realized that might not actually be true, just because I have the 8 gallon a minute. I'm still on my 4 gallon a minute timeline. Alright, and over here, this is why he called, as he's got the algae growing on the north side of the home. And got a letter from the HOA letting them know to give me a call. So we're going to get it all nice and cleaned up and ready to rock and roll. So I've got one side washed and I'm out of water. I definitely had some issues with my 4 gallon per minute machine when I was out here, especially when I was on the fence, because it was like pretty much continuous wash time. I need to come back through, rinse these windows one more time. But it was continuous wash time on that fence. I was running out of water on the 4 gallon per minute machine, but I didn't realize it was going to be this bad. I started with a 50 gallon reserve, and one side down I got nothing. So I'm gonna rinse those windows just a little bit more, and then take a break, do a little admin, let this fill up. That way we can maybe wash the rest of the house in one go. Alright, so we are back in business with about 70 gallons in the buffer tank. I'm gonna be trying not to be on the trigger as long as possible on this one, but also I might just switch over to the 4 gallon just so that I don't have to take as many breaks. But we'll see how it goes after this side and how long we're gonna have to wait on this water. Alright, you can kind of see here the line where my overspray on cleaning this section up here kind of clean part of the house. So, going to be applying that Kim. Evenly and efficiently as possible. With 70 gallons as buffer, I should have more than enough to get this side washed and rinsed. But I would prefer to be washing more than one side at a time, just because I've always been able to wash more than one side at a time with the 4 gallons per minute machine. Just washed a little slower, rinsed a little slower, but you can always go back over to the 4 gallon for this one, just to not be sitting on my hands. This 8 gallon per minute though does cover so much area at one swipe and gets a much better saturation than the 4 gallon did. Okay. Gonna get off the trigger for a second. Come back over here, adjust my nozzle, and we can do the second floor. Standing way back on this one, taking full advantage of that extra distance on the 8 gallons per minute machine. Absolutely no issue, even with some wind today. It's not even touching this thing. Alright, gonna let this dwell, move on to the front. But it's pretty much already changed. The algae is only 2 years old, and I'm spraying a pretty hot mix on this, so it's pretty much done already, but I'm gonna give it a little time to change. Alright, so after applying Chem, I'm down to about 50, a little over 50 gallons. So I'm gonna do part of the front. Try and keep the operation moving along. This definitely needs it. Got a good bit of dust and dirt where they've been doing construction here in the neighborhood. Alright, gonna hit this top story real quick. A lot of wind catching on this side of the house. That's no issue. Again, there's so much volume going up there. Even with the wind, I'm putting a good amount on the house, so. Yeehaw! For fun, while I'm waiting on water, I thought of an idea where I would test my Downstream Injector. I'm using a ton of Chem, and I know I'm using a lot more Chem because of the 8 gallon per minute draw rate, but I'm also pulling soap on my XJET. So I put this in here while I rinsed and filled this Coke Zero bottle almost all the way up, and it's not completely empty, but it's pretty much completely empty. So what's that, a quart? Somewhere about there, I don't know. It's about a quart. So I pulled about a quart of Chem while rinsing that, even though this was just plain water. When I'm rinsing 1.5 sides, I'm pulling about a quart of Chem and putting a very weak mixture onto the house, but I'm going to have to take that dipstick out every time I go from wash to rinse, unless I figure out another way that's not a Flow Pro. So, yeah, for now, I'm just going to take that dipstick out when I go to rinse cycle. And again, waiting on water. We're maybe about 30-ish, 40-ish gallons. And I've washed everything but here, over, and this side. So I've got like 1.5 sides left to wash, and then I'll be wrapped up on this one. But I've got to wait probably for this to fill up to about 75 gallons just to make sure I have enough to not run out and do a thorough rinse. Alright, there it is. Finally got it washed, and did have to stop just for a few minutes to get it the rest of the way. It's looking good. A little concerning about the XJET, but you know, with new equipment, finding new nuances that I didn't have to worry about with the old equipment. So I came back, I actually gave this side one more rinse to make sure I wasn't leaving behind any residue. Cleaned the windows one more time, which I'm sure they needed. Yeah, came out great. And right over here we have the north side, which was the issue that got the HOA on them in the first place, and it looks brand new. So this is ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna go talk to the customer and roll up. All right, so all done for today. Everything's packed up and done. That house went very smoothly, except for having to take the dipstick out to do rinsing. I don't know, I have a sneaking suspicion that it is an issue with using a 2.1 injector. I feel like that's pretty standard for the 8 gallon per minute machines, but I want to double check a few things, do a little bit of investigating. I'm going to be taking a day off for New Year's, and I'll do a little bit of what's going on, and maybe I'll find out that I need to be using a 2.3. I don't know. But for right now, at least, I am glad to know that I'm pulling a little bit of soap when I'm rinsing, and that I can correct that before doing any type of serious damage or just leaving a job poorly done. So I wish that I had found that before doing my first one, but I know about it now, and I'm aware of oxidation issues that might pop up, but it should be pretty well manageable. I think that per 100 gallons, I'm probably pulling about a quart, so I don't think it's going to be a super strong mix, but I just don't think that I want to rinse with clean water, and so that's going to be my big thing for today, is get that sorted out. But other than that, it went really well. On my way out of the subdivision, I had somebody flag me down. How much do you charge? Went back, walked around their property, talked to them a little bit, and booked them for next week. So it's definitely looking like January is going to be a lot better than it has been. December was so much better than it has been. It definitely seems like the more work I do, the more work I get, and the more my truck is recognized in the community, and just the more those referrals come through. You know, if I've been in that neighborhood, I think 4 or 5 times in the past couple months, and you know, just seeing the same pressure washing truck come through, and seeing the results and seeing that people in your neighborhood are trusting that person makes a big difference. I'm not in any way advertising to them. I'm letting the word of mouth go. But it's also really cool that one of our clients put us on the HOA website and the HOA Facebook group, so that hopefully we can keep going back out to that neighborhood and keeping the ball rolling. All right, well, that's all I got for you. I'm going to go get cleaned up and go see the wife. You guys have a great new year. You always safe out there.